Hey guys, Cat 7 here. Okay, it is May 1st, 2018, and we continue our journey through the Stonewall site at Mallory in beautiful Sherman, Connecticut. And we just passed the S-curve in the brook, where we saw that pyramidal shaped thing at the corner of the brook there. And we continue our journey down the length of the brook. And there is some very, very interesting things to see down this way, and I'm so happy that I'm here and able to show you this stuff because it is just amazing. Okay, so let's go, let's take a look down there and see what it's all about, and we'll see some cool stuff. Okay, all right, so okay, well, there's where the end of the S-curve was, where our pyramidal shaped thing in the corner there is. And you can see along the brook here, there are some really gigantic boulders, you know, on one side here. You can see there was a wall construction over here along the brook over here. You don't see much evidence, but I say, you know, a lot of the stuff washed into the brook, you know, or moved there on purpose, who knows. But it seems like it could be any of those things. And over here, I just want to show you this corner of this stone wall and how extremely well built this thing is over here. So let me set up the camera here, put it over here. Hope you can see that. We got a lot of bugs here already. It's very warm and beautiful here today. It is absolutely outstanding, and it's I'm so happy to be here today. I just want to sit down and stay here for hours. Okay, so we have this beautiful corner of this wall here, and you can see by my hands on these rocks here, these stones, that, you know, they're pretty substantial. And you can see it has, you know, a pretty relatively, you know, they picked stones that had flat sides and sort of 90-degree cuts in them to put them here. And you can see how smart about it they were with this. All of these stones are shimmed in there and wedged in there to level out the stones. They're actually pointing back slightly, which is a pretty smart thing, I think. And you can see there's this huge, absolutely huge flat stone in here, another one below it, some more over there, these wedges and shims in here, and some more shims up top to sort of level this out over here. And you can see this section of the wall that we're going to look at down here is an extremely well-made wall of the archaic wall variety. And despite the fact that, you know, Thorson identified the 4 different types of stone walls in his book, I think basically those are subcategories of some other things. So I think what you have is the archaic stone walls, and you have the more modern stone walls built by the settlers and the colonists, and we're going to look at them. They're in this area. We're going to take a look at them, and you can see how extremely well made the more modern walls are, where these walls are very well made, but in a more primitive sense. So just look at this beautiful corner that they made over here. I think this construction is just amazing, and the fact that they use the shims and the wedges to position everything right. They have some flat stones in this corner, and more flat stones, and they're gigantic. They're absolutely huge, and many of the stones in this wall are absolutely huge. We're going to go down over here and take a look at more of this. And you see there's some deer tracks in here. If you're living out in the woods, or you're spending time out looking at stone walls, and you happen to be, you know, bivouacked in an area somewhere, if you want to know what's living in your area, just go down by the watering hole and check around, and you're going to see the tracks of every animal that's living in your area if you want to know what's there. Good advice from people who track. Okay, so here's our stone wall that continues down over here, and it's a fairly substantial wall. I'm over here You see, it's like up to my waist over here. These are just gigantic stones in here. They're just amazing. And you can see this is a very substantial wall, and people put a lot of effort into creating this wall, but in a very primitive sense. And as we get down here, we come to an opening, another opening in a wall. And this one is maybe 9-10 feet wide, but you can see again, right, the end pieces of the wall, relatively straight and flat pieces that they want to put there. The shims that are in there. This one is not actually propping the stone up anymore. It looks like a crack. Somebody probably jumped on it. And there's more shim under here to level out these stones for the, you know, the end caps of the wall. A similar thing going on down here. I just think that this stone fell a bit, you know, washed out or whatever. It might have been propped up, or, you know, just maybe they ended it like that, or these stones were removed, who knows. But you can see also here, through this opening, it seems like they built this up here as a crossing point in the brook, because you can see in this area these stones lined up across here, and you can see the wear in the hillside over here. If you look down there, you don't see that anywhere over here, but you can see almost like a path down here on this side, maybe one up here on this side. Some more rock over there, bigger rocks, major size stuff. And I think they had this here, or somebody put this here intentionally to cross from one side of the brook to the other. So it's very interesting that this is here and the opening is here, and it seems to be, I mean, what the intent was. Okay, so we continue along this wall here, and again, it's about, you know, now it's a little bit above my waist, so it's getting more substantial over here, and you'll find many of the walls along the brook here very substantial and very cool. You can see these are just monster rocks in here, and I think more attention to the construction of it than you see elsewhere, where some of the walls might have been damaged or tampered with, who knows. But this is a major wall over here. This was an extremely large amount of work here, just amazing. Look, you know, see, like intentional to put these flat stones on the outside here. Now over here, this guy, you're up to my chest over here at the height of the wall here. So this is just amazing over here. It's a beautiful construction of a primitive wall. I attributed this to the archaic peoples, whoever they were, and not to the settlers. Now, this area over here is very interesting. This wall then sort of stops here and then bows up over this big mamma jamma over here, this big boulder over here, and you can see this is like tripping over everything here. Look here how this was propped up by somebody. Somebody wedged something in here, God knows how long ago. But you can see there's a lot of small stone over here. It seems like maybe some larger construction of something, and you have the same thing over here too on the other side of this big guy. And you have some very interesting things in here. You have all these small stones in here. You know, they're smaller than the stones that are in the walls, a lot of them. And you have this over here where this is almost, it looks to me like it was intentionally tilted up to hold all that stuff up there. So, you know, thinking about intent or whatever, somebody might say, well, it's, you know, this is where the farmer's clearing pile is. They just threw it over the wall there and down over here. But why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. It only seems like you can handle a little bit or whatever, but it seems like that was engineered. Now, if you turn around over here, I want you to look at this. Here's the second dam. Okay, it was the one I showed you up to 90 degree on the brook over there, that old wall, that old dam over there that was blown up. And here's another one. except that there's no evidence of mortar that I can find over here. This looks like a dry laid stone dam. And look at the size of the stones in here. It's just, it's incredible. They're obviously all lined up. You can see them. And when there's no water in the brook here in the middle of the summer, you can see they're all laid out nicely over here in a row. Built up over there, built up over here. And those stones over there were probably on top of this or part of this. Whatever it is, it seems, you know, very intentional. And you can see this area over here. How interesting is all of that over there? It's very interesting, that bedrock over there that sort of lines the brook over here. It continues there, it goes through there, and it looks, there's odd stones in there and stuff. It almost looks to me like it was intentional, but if that was intentional, that is megalithic work, you know, and it may very well be, for all we know. But I wanted to show you this dam. It creates like a little waterfall over here, but you can see, and you can see in the brook over here, there's not a lot of stone in the brook over here. And then over here you see this, and you know,